All right, looks like the mic is running. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by. My name is Eli with Pokémon USA. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our live days where I answer any and all your guys' questions. You guys get the spiel at this point, but I don't really feel like giving the spiel today, so I'm just gonna say make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then obviously if you want to be a part of the community, check out the Discord or the link to the Patreon down below. But now let's jump into it. So a couple of shout outs to those who are here so far. Collectible Accounting, Mikkel Christensen, Ripper, Joker, Dr. Boss Knock V, Tori, Digi, Geo, Corey, Nate, Trinell, and Robert. Thank you guys all so much for being the first ones here and stopping by. So greatly appreciate everything you guys do to help support the channel. So my video, obviously, I just posted it finally like not 10 minutes ago, but like I want to say an hour ago. Holy crap. So I was having problems all day yesterday uploading the video. I like had to re-delete it and like repost it multiple times, and it for some reason the processing wasn't working. And so I just said, oh, that's fine. I'll just I'll just leave my computer on overnight and like let it process. It never processed. It literally never processed. So I had to re-delete it and do the whole rigmarole again. And then I tried doing a couple of troubleshooting things, and then it finally worked. So hip hip hooray! Only one day late to posting the video. So, but anywho, and the best part is I'm posting the live at the same time as my other video. So, or shortly thereafter. So, this is just perfect timing from a marketing perspective on how I'm going to be able to get the most views. Because either you watch the full video and then come watch the live, and then, that's maybe a late amount of people will be trickling in, but who knows. Another thing as well, obviously I will make this announcement when we're done with the stream, but friendly reminder, guys, our live break is going to be tomorrow for the Platinum era, as I like to call it, at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So super duper excited about that. If you want to know how you can be a part of that, make sure you check out PokemonUSA.com on our break section. Basically, how you can be a part of that is just literally pick up any of these packs. As mentioned many times before, you get a special deal if you order an art set for Platinum, $75 a pack, which is a really good price, but that will be live, like I said, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be a good stream. It's funny because we still have, I think we're going to have at least a booster box worth of packs being opened. And personally, it would not surprise me if after people realize how kind of busted this is, that they're going to want to get in. Because when I'm opening Pokemon consistently that are worth $500 to $1,000 plus a piece per pack, and you're only paying $75 to $100, I think people are going to start to buy in real quick. Because I'm going to sit there and I'm going to break down the prices, and I'm going to say, hey guys, so anyway, let's see, he hit one holo in his 4-pack. All right, so what? He invested $300. All right, cool. How much is this all worth? Oh, half $1,000. Nice. Oh, this is worth $1,000. Nice. This is worth $2,000. Nice. Like, so it'll be interesting. Your team up with Mason was hilarious. Mason and I, it's so funny because I feel like we get along really well. He feels like we get along really well, but the comment section, for some reason, disagrees. To be fair, it is mixed, but I've had some people that are like, man, Mason just looks like he hates you. And I'm like, what? I don't think he hates me. Why else would he not like go on this stream? Like, I don't know. Or, man, you guys disagree about everything. I'm like, really? I feel like we're piggybacking off each other a lot. It's interesting, but I feel like that's just people, you know, trying to start stuff. But what's up, Tom Wrath? Good to see you both as well. But yeah, so my video, which I think I mentioned that when I first posted the video, it's probably going to be one of my most valuable videos I've ever made, which means it's going to be one of the most the least viewed videos that I've ever made. But just for those that are like wanting to save time and be a part of the stream, long story short, the video itself that I made, which was what, 34 minutes long, it really just breaks down more or less the value of how you can acquire bulk from outside product, whether it be through Pokemon, whether it be through Magic, whether it be through Yu-Gi-Oh, etc., and how you can create an opportunity from that. That was the majority of the video. I might want to have to retitle the video because of that, because how to turn your bulk into profit is not extremely accurate. So because it's not just Pokemon bulk. So I don't know what I should title it. So I'm still a little bit all over the place with that. It seemed more like an older brother messing with a younger brother. Well, that's kind of the thing, because like we're a bunch of goobers. Next video, how to start a Pokemon business. God, see, how to start a Pokemon business, right? Man, it's so funny. I will tell you, it is kind of funny to see how the like ratio for this recent video is incredibly high compared to the views. Like, it's ridiculous how high it is. Squid says, wow, live 2 days in a row, Eli? Eli must be sleeping on the couch. What do you mean live 2 days in a row? I always do a live Tuesday and Thursday. Next, but yeah, starting a Pokemon business video, I mean, more or less, I think that the video that I made was kind of similar to starting a Pokemon business, but it's more flexible. It's one of those things where when it comes to TCG player, there's so much value to be made on things outside of just Pokemon, and that's what I think the main takeaway was with my video. And I'm gonna have to, and like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to name the video. Maybe I call it the ultimate guide on how to profit from selling trading cards. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still, like I said, I still feel like it's something I like posted the video and was like, gosh dang it, I like it. But a Squid says flesh. Well, that was a part of the video. I don't know if you watched the full length video, but yeah, Flesh and Blood was one of the ones that I posted about. It's insane the amount of value that you can find from some of these sets. Like I said in the video, I made money off of breaking down and selling Flesh and Blood. Like, I opened the booster boxes and I made money. This guy has no guide. That should be the name of the video. Next video, how to avoid Pokemon taxes. Love it. I like that. I like that one. Next video, how to buy 100 Sleeping Pikachus and get black labels. Nice. That's a good one. Yeah, everyone's really excited for me. My fiance is like, don't you dare get freaking peer pressured this time. I ended up actually going back and buying more because I saw some people listed some more at $5 a pop, and I was like, I want to get a lower average here of what my entry point is. I'm gonna buy like 10 more. So it's actually, I actually bought a little bit more. So I can sit here and say, oh, I have remorse for this, but if I had remorse, I wouldn't have went and bought 10 more. What fab did I open? Outsiders. So I can't speak on behalf of after the market has kind of settled, but when I look at the flesh and blood market for outsiders, and once again, I talked about this in the video, I look at how expensive some of the majestic cards are that you can pull, because ultimately, as much as we want to hit these fables, we want to hit these marvels, etc., having cards such as Codex of Fratility and Premeditated, where you can hit a non-holo version, or you can hit a rainbow foil version, and it basically pays for your booster box, is kind of busted. Like, and for those people that are wondering, like, what are the hit rates for a majestic? I average about 6 a booster box, which is about 1 in 4, I want to say. Maybe it's a little bit more than that. Maybe it's 4 or 5, but I feel like from me breaking down 6 cases worth, that's how many I pulled. So that's why I liked Outsiders so much. I know other sets such as not Neon Dynasty. Whoa, this is not. This is not Magic. I know other sets such as Dynasty. People were not the biggest fans of in terms of opening. I myself haven't opened Dynasty, so I'm definitely curious to see. But I mean, there are still some cards that have value. I mean, Surgical Extraction being one of them from Dynasty, and it's not like it's not like it's an extended art card. But yeah, I think that that's one of the reasons why there's so much value, because you can get these cards that are upwards of the price of the booster box in the Majestic slot, which is just absolutely priceless in my personal opinion. Here we can take a look at, I mean, so obviously Uprising is not a good one just based off of the Majestic pricing, but Dynasty's not bad. I still think Outsider's the best. Plus it's the newest set too, so you're gonna get the most value out of that. Where's Everfest? Everfest is another one that let's take a look and see where Everfest lines up. And I mean, look how cheap Everfest is to get a first edition box, guys. Like, it's ridiculous how cheap some of these boxes are. Okay, extended art, regular cards. You've got a couple, man, that are just standard Majestics that are in the $20-ish range. Like, so you've got a diverse pool of first edition normals, and then you hit the rainbow. This isn't like a cold foil variant card. Like, you get $30 out of this. So Everfest is also one that can be profitable from the looks of it in terms of just general Majestics. I will be interested to see outside of that if there's any sort of crazy big hitters in the set. Not really, no. So that's kind of why, once again, Outsiders is still my favorite, because there's such big hitter value. I will go back to Dynasty one last time. I want to take a look at Dynasty one last time, and I want to see, I mean, yeah, some of the, there's good big hitter cards in the set, but I mean, we're talking good luck pulling one of these Marvels. Like, yeah, just good luck on that. So just consistently you're one in the Majestics. Tales of Aria is a set that was really fun to open, and for a while when the set first came out was profitable, but I highly doubt it's profitable anymore, because I don't remember the Majestics being worth much. Yeah, there's not anything of value for Majestics. It's a gorgeous set, it's a fun set to open, but I'm thinking Outsiders is still the best bet right now. It'll be interesting to see when they come out with the newest set, which I should have available for pre-order as it stands right now, so I might want to check that out. I know this is a Pokemon channel, we're talking about fab, I apologize, but I don't know, man, money's money, and I feel like yeah, you might watch this channel because you're into Pokemon, but dude, like, don't not watch this channel because you don't like making money. Okay, yeah, Dusk Till Dawn, it's yeah, I'm dude. It'll be interesting to see how that set performs. Thanks, Eli, for all the advice. Still holding a little while longer before launching and selling, but I'm Confident with your tips, I will succeed. Thanks, Don. I appreciate that. Which do you prefer, Supreme Victors or Rising Rivals? Ooh, Skylar. Skylar asking me very tricky questions. For me personally, God. Oh, shoot. That is like asking me what one of my favorite children is. If you said in Diamond and Pearl era, what's your favorite? But obviously you're probably talking for the purpose of purchasing. Oh my God. Okay, so here's why that's such a hard question for you to ask me. Also, is my face visible on the screen? Why does it look like it was despairing? Okay, so I don't really give a crap about Charizard. Sure, you can pull a Charizard that's worth $3,000 to $5,000, whatever, or however much it's worth in a 10 at this point. I love this Rayquaza. I love this Rayquaza, and I'm a huge Garchomp fan too. You guys know Garchomp is my favorite, so it's like a part of me takes a look at this set and I say to myself, oh, I love Garchomp. Oh, I love Rayquaza. And I'm like, spicy, spicy. And then you've got some other starters as well that you can pull for holos in this set. So it's like, oh, I look at Supreme Victors and I say, dude, juicy. That's what I say. I say juicy when I look at this set, right? I mean, God, there's some gorgeous C cards too. So, because I'm a huge Cynthia fan, so when I look at all these C cards, I'm like, yo, I want to get these all in 10s and the reverse holo variations. And same with the Cyrus cards. So, that's where I'm like, oh, I love Supreme Victors. But then, I go over to Rising Rivals, man, and I take a look at the set, and I'm like, but dude, they've got the Pikachus in their secret rare variations. They've got a level X Snorlax. They've got a Infernape, a Flygon. I mean, like, just once again busted. Oh, one of my favorite Darkrai cards of all time. They've got some of the evolutions in the reverse holo slots that you can hit, like Jolteon, Flareon, Espeon, Vaporeon, Glaceon. Like, these are uncommon and rare cards you can hit in reverse holos, which are extremely, extremely sick. So you can still walk out like a champ in that. And then you've got the Flareon 4. Oh, God. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. I would have to say, if I had to choose between the two, I would slightly say that I prefer Supreme Victors. And the only reason why I say that is because I'm such a huge Garchomp and Cynthia fan. And that's where all the Cynthia cards are in that set. And that's where the Garchomp card is in that set. But if you took that out of the picture with Rayquaza and the Garchomp and everything, then I would like the set better, just because you can get a lot of really nice evolution reverse holos. And it's got just, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a tough question to ask me, and I get excited being asked that question. I got lucky and got a bulk of 8,000 of foils for MTG Fab for a little under. Nice, Christian. 2 cents a card, even at Coldfall. Whoo! Jeez, dude, where are you buying that bulk? Will you be opening any more Patreon spots at $100 a tier? No. So here is the current plan, Yang. And this is what I recommend to you. We have, in terms of our Patreon, spots open up about twice a month. And that number continues to dwindle as the program grows, because the value begins to grow. And by the program grows, I mean, like, we're adding more additional benefits and we're cleaning things up. So there is a ton of value right now in terms of the proposition, to where I don't see me wanting to make that decline by, you know, opening up additional spots. And so my best kind of recommendation for you is just pay attention every day. If a spot ever opens up, highly recommend you go just, you know, hop in immediately, because I think the longest amount of time, and this is the longest amount of time, take that into consideration, someone has a spot has been open in the program has been 4 days. That is the longest time we've ever had one spot available. Usually the spot sells shortly after it opens up, like within the day. That's what I would say the general average is. But yeah, I would definitely try and take advantage if it does pop up. But I really want to make sure that I'm trying to prioritize quality in the set. We're going to get roughly around 1,000 booster boxes this time around as an entire, you know, allocation. And so for me personally, I would like to be at a point where we're getting 800 to 1,000 booster boxes before I even consider opening up for more. Like, I want people to be so flushed with booster boxes that they're like turning me down, and I have to find other ways to get rid of the booster boxes. But then at that point, a part of me is like, well, it'd be fun to do booster box breakers again, or sell loose, like I don't know, like it's tough, or resell on my website again, or, you know, there's so many different things to that. It is indeed a tough choice, Skylar. But yeah, I gotta slightly choose Supreme Victors for the reasons I listed, but those are personal reasons. I mean, some people are like, yo, Charizard and a Rayquaza in a set, busted. So it's like, I would say the consensus is Supreme Victors is typically, like, on average better. That's usually what most people are going to say because of the Charizard. I mean, it's a Charizard. Come on. Like, Charizard sets do well, it's crazy, right? To be fair, though, the secret rares for the birds are pretty sick. But is that, like, the reason why I like the set? Yeah, not really. I know Crown Zenith is good long-term value. What are your thoughts on the Zacian Zom boxes compared to the rest? ETB still king? Well, so my thing with CJ, the only thing I said in terms of ETBs being king was the Pokemon Center exclusives. I said the Pokemon Center exclusives were going to do phenomenal, and they did phenomenal. So that was it. In terms of standard ETBs, I never think, and we'll say this, the standard ETB is always 100% king. Do I think that, historically speaking, it has always been one of the best performing items within specialty sets? Yes. But there are more supply on average of this product, typically, that can come out because they're just easier to mass print than everything else. And so sometimes, even though it might be the best performing from a short-term perspective, from a long-term perspective, same kind of argument that goes from ETB to booster box, the print is going to play a factor when it comes to the overall price, value. I feel like a perfect example of this is, dude, sorry, it's super off topic, but I'm so ready for this break to be over because I want to open packs live. Or not to the break to start, because I want to open packs for myself so freaking bad. You guys have absolutely no idea. Anyway, but sorry. I saw the level X. I was like, God, I just want it already. Can I please get it? Frick, I got off topic. What was I saying? Gosh dang it, I got so sidetracked. Yes, Crown Zenith. Yes, I was going to give an example. Okay, so we go to Hidden Fates, which Hidden Fates is a fantastic set to be able to buy raw right now. Just letting you guys know. So the value for Hidden Fates sealed product, this Elite Trainer box has been sitting for the longest time in the 160s range. Hasn't like moved whatsoever, right? Where you have these Hidden Fate tins, which at one point were going for 15 bucks a pop, I think was the lowest. They're obviously, you know, the new retail was 20 bucks a pop. And they're performing just as well as the Elite Trainer boxes. But look at these other items, Hidden Fates, Mew, Ping collections. These ones are performing the best. Why? Because these two items were printed drastically more than these two items. I mean, these are crushing it, like, as the best performing items by far. But the only reason why is because these were vastly underprinted. They did a small reprint at one point, but it was only available at like GameStop, basically, was the small print. So the value of these specific items, obviously they, you know, from an MSRP to market perspective, still perform well, but you can find opportunities outside of it. So to answer, I guess, the question of Zacian Zamazente compared to the rest, I think there's a strong argument to be made that the Zacian Zamazente box could perform extremely well and be one of the best performing items by far. Obviously, not to compare it to the Hidden Fates Premium Power Collection because, I mean, a Shiny Rayquaza and 2 gold cards, it's something that's hard to be, like, compared to. But still, like, when we're talking premium collection boxes, just look at the performance of something like this. It is just absolutely knocked it out of the park, right? And I think the argument can be said, once again, it's hard to compare because it's a Shiny Rayquaza, but I think there's still an argument to be said that the same could apply in terms of premium collections and pin collections in other things, such as Shining Fates. Because Shining Fates Premium Collection, sure, it doesn't have a playmat. It's not as bougie, but it could still perform well because they were so much drastically less available compared to these Elite Trainer boxes, which we've seen multiple times show up on the market. I mean, we literally had a small reprint right before it ran out of rotation. So it's like, it's entirely possible. And then you have the pin collections, right? Which those have already doubled in value, just about. So that's kind of where I am with that. I think they either got it at a state or they probably flipped it for quick, but it was local. Meetup is even better. Yeah, but I guess where do you find these things? I like the Pikachu and the evolution, but the birds are cool though. Dude, that's what I'm saying, man, is I mean, it's really just the Cynthia cards for me, man. I love the Cynthia cards. The Cynthia cards are just so sick. God, I love the Cynthia cards. Howdy, everyone. What's up, Package Total? Good to see you, brother. Who here wants to make money on Pokemon? A little late, but made it. Good to see you here, RD. Good to see you here, brother. Hope you're having yourself a good day. But yeah, man. Offer up, LOL, days and days of refreshing. Okay, so this doesn't seem to be one of those things where you're just like, it isn't like it's a gold mine. Like, you're having to constantly look for this product on OfferUp. I mean, it's the game you're playing, obviously. It makes sense to me. Eli's next vid, why I love Cynthia. Cynthia is the ultimate waifu card for myself, hands down. No question about it. Cynthia is my waifu girl. She is everything I want. But it's not just because like, oh, she's an attractive female. That's not really it for me. The reason I love Cynthia is because it's context for my own personal childhood of how I love Gen 4. And she was the champion, and not only was she the champion, she was by far the hardest champion you will ever have. Like, in any of the games, by far the most difficult. And because of that, the amount of nostalgia that I have for freaking replaying this girl over and over and over and over again, because she's just so freaking strong, you have to keep trying to beat her. Like, it's not like you can get her first run unless you're overpowering your Pokemon or your modding. Like, she is a character that is so freaking strong, right? And so that's why I like her so much, because she has a lot of character to her and a lot of nostalgia for myself. But yeah, I mean, Cynthia's Feelings was one of my favorite cards back in the day when I was a kid, so that one resonates to me quite a bit. Yeah, she's just an awesome character. I've been buying up Charizard UPC empty boxes with just playmats, dice, etc. for around $10 for and buying 1999 to 2018 for roughly 05. What are your thoughts on this approach? I don't know, dude. Where the frick you buy in bulk for that cheap? Because I would like to buy bulk for that cheap. That's a great approach. I do not have a Cynthia pillow. Missed opportunity. What's the latest on Evolving Skies reprints coming? I've been out of the loop for the past 2 weeks. Well, that is a tough one. That is a tough one because I have heard zero news. And as much as it pains me to say this, I am at the point where the longer this goes on, the less and less confident I begin to feel about just a general reprint happening. Like, I just don't see that being a possibility as we get closer and closer. I don't know, man. It's tough. And I hate to say that because obviously for me personally this is extremely unprecedented. But I don't know. I obviously made a video that I was extremely vague about. And although I can't go into exact details, but I more or less have potentially potentially have information pertaining to conversations that are not definitive, that things are not going to get reprinted, but that the focus is on the present and future, not the past. That's all I can really say for that. So, does that make me lose confidence in the possibility of reprint? Oh yeah, for sure. And on top of that as well, we still don't know the full confirmation of what's going to be the standard rotation. Is it going to be the start of early next year, which I've had some people say that they've heard sources that it's going to go back to the old rotation after Worlds. So who knows, man? Who freaking knows? But if Worlds ends up being what causes the rotation to go out, then that's going to be it. And I'm honestly kind of annoyed at this point because I was presuming that the news we were going to be hearing was going to be related to, hey, Worlds is coming. Here's the reality of the situation. You're going to see the rotation come shortly after. That's what I honestly was expecting the news to be. And whether that was tied into reprints right before or not, I couldn't tell you. And I could be wrong. It could have gone one way or another. But that's more or less just... I mean, we haven't heard anything. We haven't heard anything. I got back into Pokemon because of Gen 4 remakes. Pro was my first Pokemon game. Bro, those remakes were so depressing. It's so upsetting. A few hundred blisters, so I'm okay if no one's wanting. Just wanting to know... I just wanted to know when to let go of some. Just sit, man. At this point... And this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Finding Pokemon packs of Evolving Skies for $4 or less at this moment in time is just free freaking real estate. And there's a lot of people that ask me questions on stream discussing about how they find this product for super duper like $4, consistently buying it at their local Walmart or their local Target or online somewhere that they found. Like, it appears to be readily available of an opportunity for you to pick up a lot of Evolving Skies packs. So I don't know, man. I don't know. If no reprints, we buy more Sleeping Pikachus. How is that even? I mean, let's take a look and see where that is. I don't think anything happened because of me buying it out. Or I didn't even buy it out fully, right? Like, so if we go near mint and we go verified seller, so the cheapest is $6.62 now. on direct, and if we just go verified seller, it is $6. So I mean, it technically did go up. I mean, it's not like it went down. I know some people I saw were making comments saying like, oh well, Eli, that you can get it cheap for $3.75, and I'm like, no you can't. Look at this, $3.75 plus $5 shipping. It's $8.75, you goobers. Yeah, this is the cheapest price now at $6. And a part of me is almost like, bro, if you literally just buy these 4 out, you're just, I mean, the price is just gonna keep, there's not really a lot of this item for the price I was buying it at. Like, if you really talk about the market price for an item like this, it is selling closer to the $8 and $7 price point than at the $5 price point, which is what I bought it for at. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's almost like, do I just buy everything that's in the $6-ish range or lower because I think the price is going to go up regardless of whether I'm going to send it all in for grading? Frick if I know, man. I mean, because there's no doubt about it. This card is undervalued. And if you're looking at the like majority of sales, like I said, it's $8+. That's the majority listed. Late to the party, what the frick, catch 'em all? What do you think this is? Amateur hour? No, I'm just kidding. Learning how to be a TCG master. Alright, valid excuse. Bought a case of empty Charizard UPCs for $75. Boxes were trash, but items were there. What do you mean you bought an empty Charizard UPC for $75? What do you mean by that? What made it empty? But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I'll do a full video on it where I talk about how I'm crazy and I went in and I bought 100 of them, and we're gonna see what it's gonna happen with BGS. I remember I was reading some of the comments that some people were making in the Discord, and someone I think mentioned that, oh my gosh, that seems like so much effort to try and go through and see which ones are worth even sending grading in, and if it's not, you know, possible, and the majority of these are probably not going to be even gradable to begin with. But it's like, why? Like, it's a sleepy freaking Pikachu. It's not like, I mean, I would still make the same argument regardless of a sleepy Pikachu and if it was something else. This is a card that there is a, I mean, it's a yellow border card, guys. It's a yellow border card. So I think this is a card that I don't think people are like, oh my gosh, I'm sending all my Pikachus in for grading. Which, who knows, man? I mean, maybe, oh, freaking, what do I know, I guess. We can go to PSA and we can take a look and see just what the PSA population of this item is. I mean, I'm obviously not sending this into PSA. I'm going to be sending this into Beckett. But, yeah. I had a strategy for a while where I live near a Dollar General and they would just have save 5 off 25. Just the online, they go packs between, oh, that's a pretty nice deal. I hereby rescind my I Worship Eli membership. I feel this. You gotta renew it. There's a penalty, $100. Lazy people will be lazy. You never know until you try. I mean, I feel like that's more or less the point of my videos, that I feel like do the worst. Like, they perform the worst. It's the ones that I feel like I put the most effort into, and I talk about the best ways to make money. People don't really care. But to be fair, you also have to ask yourself the question of, what do you mean gateway hosted error? Go frick yourself. Freaking lame sauce. People don't like putting in effort to do things. It's just kind of a fact. People are content with being lazy. All right, what is this? Trainer Gallery 05. 05, 05, 05. Where is it at? There it is. It has 593 and a 10. Honestly, not gonna lie, that's kind of low. Does 593 and a 10 feel low to you guys? Whoa, look at how many are in a 9. What? Wow. There's quite a bit of this card in a 9 compared to a 10. Interesting. Found some sleeve team-up packs for 25 each. Good pickup. God, at this point, I don't even know what to tell you, man. I would just go off of whatever the market price is at this point for team-up sleeved. Because this, I mean, team-up is just kind of just busted right now. Individual team-up sleeved, sealed product. I mean, for a set of 4, it's saying 148 is what they're selling for. And I assume a standard sleeve. I mean, that sounds about right. If you can get a full art set, then that's even better. They actually sell decently for how little supply there is. Is Becky your choice? I've used PSA, was looking to CGC, looking into bulk submissions. So this is my general opinion. Obviously, from an experimental perspective on my video on how to, is it profitable to send your cards into grading, that's going to PSA. But for my mass entry of product, yes. For the Pikachus, Beckett is my choice. But typically speaking, I do send into PSA more often by far than Beckett, because I collect a lot of older stuff, and older cards are where you're going to make older cards are where you're going to make the most money trying to hit a PSA 10, because a Beckett 10 is way harder. So I'm going to try and send in my holos or level X's from my Diamond and Pearl era and shoot for that. That is fair, Cozy. And that's where the fun begins, of me deciphering between my 110 cards, or however many I ended up buying. And just going through and doing that. Yeah, I barely started selling on TCG Player. Has been selling stuff constantly every week. And it's building up more and more, but definitely takes effort to not be lazy and just do it. Christian says, keep blaming them, being lazy is easy. Yeah, for real. And that's the problem, is we live in an instant gratification culture. And so because of that, the idea being that I want X and I should be owed X because give it to me, is a terrible justification for and rationale of how to get rich, because everyone's looking for get rich quick like schemes is kind of what the reality of our culture is at this point. And there's also a sense of entitlement, because as technology prevails and instant gratification becomes more prevalent, then obviously there's an entitlement factor that coexists with that, because now you feel as if you should be owed or deserve this because society has continuously given you good product and service throughout your entire life, which is then ironic, because then you start to bash the companies because you are, I just won't get into it, but that's here nor there. Instant gratification and just general overall entitlement is they go hand in hand, I feel, with a lot of today's culture. And so because of that, you're not seeing a drastic push to make money. And it's not like this is hard stuff, right, guys? Like, if you want to make money off a bulk, like I discussed in the video, like the guy was making 17 million a year. Like, are you shitting me? That's so much money. That is so much money. And honest to God, like, my fiance helps work with me with this kind of stuff. And you know what she does? She just watches a freaking movie while she's sorting cards. Okay, while she's shipping out cards. Like, it's not like this is high intensive labor. Like, would you rather be stuck in a cubicle working a salaried position where you're freaking hating your life, or would you much rather be able to play around with Pokemon cards, open Pokemon cards? Sure, it can be tiring from time to time, but is it any worse than working in a cubicle where you can not be monitored by a corporation? You choose your hours and how you structure things and can watch YouTube videos all day or listen to podcasts? Like, I don't know. It's just wild to me. Because there is so much flexibility and freedom with that, right? Boss, cubicle 100%. And I mean, what's great about it too is if you go TCG player, right? With TCG player, you have the option to turn off your inventory at any time. So if I'm like, all right, let's see, I sold $10,000 worth of bulk this month, made $6,000. Man, I crushed it this month. I made good money. I feel like I want to go take a vacation for a week or 2 weeks, right? Okay. Turn off your inventory. Finish packaging up the rest of what you need to package. And then go on vacation for however long you want to. You have the flexibility of being able to do that. Like, you can literally just stop. So it can't watch Eli's videos in a cubicle, bro. You guys get it. This is like freaking Office Space. Where's them TPS reports, baby? But now I work from home in the same role. Dude, I mean, working from home is fantastic. Collectible Accounting gets it. Tori's a cubicle fan. I don't know. There's just something I feel like more freeing about working how you want to work and controlling that. Jason says, I noticed PSA is grading harder on vintage lately. I don't know if I agree with that. You can definitely watch it in a cubicle. You just gotta try hard enough. Yeah, just try avoid it from the boss. Hey, to be fair, some places are chill with that. But I would disagree with that, and the only sentiment I have as to why is because I have Raheem. Shout out to Raheem. He is one of the mods. Him and I have conversations back and forth between our Diamond and Pearl product that we like to purchase. That's just kind of our jam. We like to just go back and forth and have conversations about Diamond and Pearl related stuff. And within that, there is also a... there's also submissions that we both obviously make for our own Diamond and Pearl collections. And this frick face went in, and I'm trying to see if I can pull it up so I can spoil the goods on what his return was. Because he sent me his return. But, oh, here it is. All right, so, sorry, Raheem, I'm doxing our conversation. This frick face got a Japanese Stormfront Shiny Drifloom, first edition, in a 10. He got a Gem Mint Burger King promo in a 10, which I didn't, and I sent in 10 times the amount he did. I sent in so many more than he did, and he happened to get a 10. He also got in a 10. Where's the juicy stuff? Here, this is so hard to see probably for you guys. I'm going to try and see if I can open this up in another screen and zoom in. All right, we're going to open this up in another screen. So he got the Pikachu reverse holo. He got a couple of other cards in reverse holos. There's still quite a bit of 9s, right? There's still quite a bit of cards that got 9s and 8s. Like, whatever. You know, it sucks. It sucks. It's a part of the game. You know, you're going to get your 9s and your 8s. But this is where I start to get tilted. This frick face sent in a level X Gallade, which he said was a 9 at best. And he sent in a Empoleon, which was a 10. His Empoleon got a 9, and his Gallade got a 10. What? And the same could be said on a lot of his other level X cards. He said that some of these level X's, like the Honchkrow, was going to get an 8, and it got a 9. I mean, this man went crazy with some of his trade-ins, like his grades. A lot of them he thought were going to get 8s, and they got 9s. And he's like, what the frick? That's crazy that I got so many 9s. For cards I thought that were going to get 8s, and a couple of his cards that got 10s, they got 10s. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think it just depends on the grader. And like I said before, we will have a conversation about that later when I have my return from PSA, which should hopefully come within the next month or so. Because I have a return of cracked cards that I sent in to PSA, and I want to see how they're going to do. And by cracked cards, I mean I like cracked them to resubmit them. And one of the things I learned is that, at least from the discussion that I had with Raheem, was certain graders were harsher on certain things. So, for example, my grader, ridiculously harsh when it came to print lines. Or sorry, ridiculously easy. I have a level, or not a level X, I have a Holo Darkrai that I sent in, nasty print line. Like, so clear as day down the middle. Still got a 10. That should auto drop me. Like, no question about it. That should auto drop my grade. Nope. Got a 10. Okay. Well, that's insane. My Dialga level X, pristine condition. Like, really good condition. Like, maybe like the slightest bit of white, like tiny whitening, if not little to no whitening. So I don't think that was the problem. But the centering was also gorgeous. It got a 9. And I was like, what? How did this get a 9? This was my level X card I thought was going to get a 9. And I noticed that he was just extremely harsh on any whitening. If he basically saw like even a speck of whitening, didn't matter. Boom, just gone. But if it had perfect whitening and it had print lines on it, who freaking cares? It's got no whitening, right? Raheem's was the exact opposite. Oh, you got a print line? Automatic drop. But a little bit of whitening here and there, who freaking cares, right? You can still get a 10 with a little bit of whitening. So that's where I feel like the problem with grading companies is the inconsistency, right? There is a ridiculous amount of inconsistency, and we're about to find out. So the cards that I sent in that I'm doing a regrade of, I sent in more cards than just the regular for grade, but so the ones that I'm regrading, it is the where is it? So I got my Leafeon 9 in a reverse holo. I got a Rampardos in a reverse holo, a Sceptile in a 5, which I tried forever looking for dents or anything, couldn't find it. Another one that got a 9. I had a Fione that got a 9, a Leafeon holo that got a 9, my Arceus Platinum Charizard, my Arceus Charizard got a 9. My Arceus, Torterra, Gengar, and Dialga level X all got 9s. So for me, very much I am focused on seeing how these cards all perform. So I've got a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards I sent in for regrade. And they all got, none of them obviously got 10s. And we're going to see. We're going to go through and we're going to look. and we're going to see what happens. Because I've seen videos where some guy said the first submission he got a shit ton of 9s, second submission he got a shit ton of 10s of the exact same cards. So the inconsistency is real, and that's what we're going to try and prove. My goal is to at least hit a 10 on any one of these cards I regrade. So I've got a 1 in 11 chance that one of these is at least going to hit a 10 again. If multiple do, great, perfect. But we see. We will see. I start selling bulk because of you. When you feature TCG Bulk King, it's fun and there's money to be made. TCG Bulk King's definitely a homie. I mean, CD Craft, I feel like it'd be dumb of me not to say that it's not a good investment because it's just performed so well. But I guess I just get really scared because I don't want to try and catch a falling knife if, you know, the top is somewhat soon. I feel like the question is always asked too late, but at the same time, people will be like, hey, Eli, did you see that, you know, team ups 2x'd in price? And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I wouldn't get it now, but I could be wrong, right? Am I grading all 100 Sleepy Pikachus? Only good ones. Only the good ones. Yeah, no. For $18 to grade each one? No, only the good ones. I mean, you think about it, I'm probably going to send in like no more than half is what my expectation is. How do grading companies know if something is cracked open and resubmit it? Would this make the population incorrect? Yes, it would make the population incorrect, and they have absolutely no way of knowing. No way of knowing. Eli, what is your primary consideration in card grading? ID, rarity, condition, etc. Okay, so let me ask you this, Don. Are you talking about what cards do I send in for grading based off of their condition, or what cards do I send in for grading based on just like what Pokemon card it is, right? Because those are two different things. If it's a conversation of I want to send in a card because I think it's in good condition versus I want to send in a card because I think it's worth sending in because I could make money off of it, you know. And those two things can go hand in hand. What's up, average player? PSA is consistently inconsistent. Damn straight, and that's why resubmitting is gonna be. I want to see if we can show this video that I watched. Dang, Nostalgianomics, top 4 investments for May. This man is crushing it with that video. So there was a video that I watched and where is the video? I think I have to go back and see if I sent the link. Through conversation. I can't remember if I did. I don't think I did. Nope, I found it. I'm gonna actually listen to this a little bit myself potentially. Here, let's turn this off. So this is a resubmission, and this was made most recently.
The color you really want. The power of Pro. Start your project at CertaPro.com.
I'm gonna go mute on my mic because I also want to listen to this with you guys. So give me one quick second.
Alright, so I got another PSA return in the mail today. The second of 3 that went out as part of the $15 special. This is English vintage Pokemon, entirely EX era holos. But what's interesting about this one is that almost all of these cards were ones that I have already graded with PSA and felt like I disagreed with the grade. So it's not a super long submission, but I might have a little bit more to say on this video here. But yeah, so just to give a little bit of backstory, and you may have seen some of this on my in some of my other videos, but I did a submission a while back of graded card review with PSA. I sent out, I think, 9 or 10 EX Hollows, PSA 9, that I had, for the most part, graded myself. I think all but one I graded myself. And I thought that they were graded a bit too harshly. So I decided to send them back and give graded card review a try. And when they got back, not a single one had been bumped up. So I decided to try to find the best of those, and just really be harsh with myself, find the best of those, crack those, and resubmit them. I also included some cards that had been previously graded, and I thought maybe those PSA 9s should have been PSA 10s as well. But those I hadn't sent for GCR, so I decided to just, I learned my lesson, crack the slabs. So I tried to get the best of all the 9s I thought were too harshly graded, cracked them, and sent them off as part of a $15 special. Spoiler alert, a few of them did get upgraded, so I do want to talk about that, but not all of them. So I think there's definitely some room for about some of the cards that got back. So the first one here is Charizard Secret Rare, number 100 from EX Dragon. This card was originally PSA 7, and I cracked this card out and we got the PSA 9. And I bought this card raw. It was very beautiful, very clean. Maybe just doesn't want to shout out for the 10. So art. My two favorite hollows from the sets, aside from maybe the Charizard, another Arita art, of course. Beautiful, beautiful card. I bought this raw. It was a level back to them, correct pop, but yeah. And we did get the 10. So here's the PSA label for. So I'm gonna send that PSA label back to them, correct pop, but yeah. This is one of those cards. Love this card. All right, the badge is so large, prominent. I love the game, Pokemon Emerald. So been after this card for a while. I bought this card off of like back at 9. So all right, and then there's the. Either way, it's a cool card. And I figured I'd send it off. All right, so the rest of the cards have been to PSA before, at least once, if not twice. So you've got 2 Sceptiles. People who have watched some of my submissions know I'm chasing this in a 10. The second one here is the one I pulled myself from a pack. This one was just like the mintest copy I ever bought. Tried them again. I have to look at them closely again. I think they're within 10 range. This card is really hard to grade. I think these are like in the top percentile of this card. So I might try them again. I'm not sure. I have to look at them really closely. I haven't made any decisions about that stuff. I might also just accept their fate. And part of why it's easy for me to accept the fate, take a diversion from the return here. I did pick this up recently, so.
Okay, I'll kind of digress from that. Obviously, you guys saw a couple of the examples he gave, and he kind of talked through it a little bit. Oh, whoopsie. But yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tough for me because I just do 2x speed, and yeah, I need to learn how to do 2x speed for sure. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. He gave a couple of examples of his cards, and I mean, we could easily go through and look at the entire video, or if you want to watch it, it's called PSA Returns Resubmission Pokemon EX Era English Hollow. So this was the 10/22 special. This happened early last year. A couple of examples of him sending in cards twice for regrade. Are you using a bulk card sorting machine, and can you tell us how those work? Yes, I'm using the Roka with Roka Robotics. Basically how it works is you have what's called an input tray, which you put 1,000 cards into. You then take that input tray, you put it in the machine. You then have a list of commands that you can offer on how you want it to be sorted. You know, alphabetically, sifted, set, just, you know, I want to say like 6 or 7 different combinations. And then it will sort it for you in that way. It takes about 2 hours to sort 1,000 cards. So it is fantastic. And then once it's sorted all those cards for you, it gives you a CSV doc that you can upload to TCG Player and have it be added to your inventory. Sad day watching someone in front of me buying grocery stores out of ES booster packs. Oh, that's tough. AI grading is the future. Human condition in nature is biased. Yep, concur. But yeah, it's in the infancy stages, sadly. All the big companies could make their own AI, so I doubt AGS would surpass them. But it's a branding thing, though. As much as we would like to sit here and say that, yes, AI is the future, because it technically is the future, it's gonna be only possible when it comes due time for these grading companies and their brands. Because BGS and specifically PSA are powerhouses in terms of brands, and unless people can get behind other brands that are going to use this AI technology and they're going to say, frick PSA, come get your card graded with us, because that's the thing, man. There's something special about having a PSA card because it's PSA, right? Eli, what are your conditions for grading? I mean, but that doesn't really answer the question I guess I was asking. I never send in cards for grading, ever. The only time I send in cards for grading is if it's something I want for my personal collection. Because I don't buy cards that I am like, how do I want to say this? If I'm gonna buy a card, I'm gonna buy it graded 90% of the time. Very rarely will I buy a card to send it in for grading unless it's for something like this general video experiment where we're gonna break down and see if it's profitable to make money. And why is that? It has nothing to do with the fact of the matter that I don't like sending cards in for grading. It just has to do with the fact of the matter that for the past several years, PSA was either closed or ridiculously expensive when it came into sending cards for grading. And for me, that was something that just wasn't worth trying to send anything in, other than when I was a member when they had the $7.50 special. That was when I sent in the majority of my cards. And the most recent submissions that I've made have been only for my personal collection. So that's why I feel like it's hard for me to really give you an answer, because you need to kind of define things. Because I can tell you from a grading standard perspective, like what kind of determines me sending something in. But for me personally, I only send in things for my own PC. That's usually it, or maybe some extras that I could resell because, for example, I have 2 PSA 10 Swamperts from Great Encounters Hollows. So it's like I don't technically need both of them. But yeah, like modern cards sent in for grading. Rarely do I send in modern cards for grading because I don't really care to send them in for grading, because unless it's like a big hitter card that is worth my time sending in for grading, I'd much rather just sell it right then and there, because 90% of these ultra modern cards are, you know, unless you've got incredible margins where you just have to send it in as a 10, the risk to reward ratio is not there. Because the 9s, if you hit that 9, you're just done. And you lose money. And you waste your time. Or I can just sell it on TCG Player and get the money right then and there. Not to mention, too, if it's a new release set, and let's say, hypothetically speaking, Lost Origin just came out, and I just pulled the I don't know, I just pulled like a gold Giratina or something, I can get the most value on the new set release rather than trying and sending it in for grading. Nope, there isn't, Wolf, and it's the most frustrating thing because I would like to know what exactly is the reason why my card got the grade it did, which is why subgrades are a fantastic thing, and I do like Beckett's subgrading for that reason. I just watched the PSA return today where the card came back with a sealed bonus Ew. But it's simple. They look at your cards through machines with their eyes for 10 seconds ish and give it a grade. Which is crazy to say because I have 24 cards in this submission. And I'm like, why is this not returned to me yet? Like if I say to myself that my last submission that I made took... Here, and I'll have to go back on this so that I don't accidentally share private information. My last submission that I made was arrived at 4:10, entered at 4:14, so it's been a little bit over a month, right? Then it was shipped out, not yet. This one was entered, but as you can see, this one only took 4 days because of how little there is. Whereas this one took about, what, 4 times as long? Technically speaking, if we're breaking it down that way. And so I say to myself, all right, well, if it takes 4 times as long for this submission, in theory, this took 2 months. Right? I'm not saying that means that all of a sudden we cut that by 4th and say that this only takes 2 weeks for it to return. Obviously, just because it's a, you know, more or less 1/4 of the card submitted. But I guess the point that I'm more or less making is as I say to myself, why for that little of cards? I mean, it's been over a month. At least half the amount of time for this many cards? I know. Seems to feel like it's taking a while, but maybe that's the instant gratification in me. Because, to be fair, if you look at my older submissions that I made back in the day with the $7.50 special, these were... these were no bueno. This took not that long. No, it took forever. Took freaking forever. Thankfully, this one didn't take that long, but this one and this one, talk about a full year almost before it finally returned. So, I don't know. It's interesting. No joke, they spend 10 seconds. Well, freaking do it! 10 seconds, if that's how long they take, give me my freaking 10 seconds, baby. Sleepy Pikachu 710 lowest listing is not bad. Concur. I concur. I have raw cards worth $40 if I grade them, and then I get an 8 and the card drops to 32, but if it's a 9 or a 10, it goes to 90 to 120. Yeah, but you're going to be pressed to find something that good done for Ultra Modern. If you're talking about vintage and you know you can hit a 9 or a 10, then fantastic. But for Ultra Modern, 90 to 95% of the cards, if you send it in and it gets a 9, you're losing money. So it's 10 or nothing. And even then, there's times where you'll send it as a 10 and you could still lose money because the market crashes on that card. Eli's going to sell those graded Sleepy Pikachus just as fast as people try to steal his raw copies. No, if I'm going to sell them, I'm going to sell it right. I'm going to slowly sell it. Not trying to crash the market here like my Curly is apparently. PSAs to use AI to catch large discrepancies between human and AI grades and flag for regrading. Average player says stop calling it AI. It's still a person selling the parameters. Fair enough. How much do we think Lono SAR will be once it comes to ENG? I have absolutely no freaking clue what Lono SAR is. Hermit. That's funny. Hey, that'd be sick. Well, but the thing is, though, average player, what am I saying that's so wrong? Am I wrong about the time to what are you saying that I'm saying is so wrong? Eli's bringing it out. Average player out here getting heated. What is the plan for my Sleepy Pika collection? Send it into BGS. Oh, Iono. Oh my god. Oh my god. That card? What is my thoughts on that card doing well? Hold on. Where was the original question? I'm trying to find it. Is there a difference between PSA regular and express grading? It's kind of a joke. Express does work. I've used it before, but that was also pre, you know, crappy times. How much do we think Iona's SAR will be once it hits English? Probably not a ton. It's probably, in my personal opinion, gonna follow what's happened with the Miriam. You ain't wrong, Hermit is. The value of graded cards would be triple if the cards were actually graded with no bias and people knew. No, 1000%. I disagree with that. People don't give a crap. People don't give a crap. People are... They just don't care. Like, that's the reality of the situation. We can sit here and we can complain about it because there is a lack of inconsistency and it is frustrating. But if there was more consistency, that's not going to change the grades. If anything, there's an argument to be made that it would actually cause a greater problem for card grading, and that cards would actually go down. Because if you have a level of more consistency, then guess what that means? Then consistently, people are going to know what's a grade that's worth a 9 and what's worth a 10. And one thing that was said about why reality going to AI grading would be a bad thing because then everyone would get 7s. I disagree with that because you can still set parameters. Like, if we're talking about true AI grading and setting parameters where it's all machine, all you would have to do is set a parameter that card scans, that the card is being scanned. The machine then registers based on the parameters if that card should get a 10 or not. And they can give it a deviation so that there's always going to be a range of error, right? So for example, when it comes to grading a cards for the front of PSA, the general rule is 45-55 is what they're looking for when it comes to centering. But if it's 50-50, that's like perfect. If you gave it a standard deviation of between 45 and 55 to 50-50, that is a range in which is more consistent that you can offer as a possibility to where it's a 10 because it hits that range. And then with a black label card, it's 50-50 as a black label, standard card, because 50-50 is in theory perfect. And then you could have parameters for whitening specs on how that can be registered, and et cetera, et cetera. Like, you can go through all these parameters on how you can train the AI computer to do that, right? And I'm making it sound very simplistic. It obviously is not, because the machine has to be able to recognize certain things for what they are. So it's like, if you have, for example, a lot of Diamond and Pearl era hollows or Black and White era hollows, the lines look like print lines. And if you are going to tell a machine that this print line automatically drops the grade and then it registers a hollow line as a print line, then you're still, once again, going to have issues regardless of whether it's a machine or not. So it still wouldn't be a perfect system, I guess, is the point that I'm making at the end of the day. But it would be an improvement in some aspects. Yes, that is the reality of the situation, Alex. Most people just want something that says 10. And they care about it being worth more. Yeah, exactly. Dang, you want 9s? That I can't do it, dude. Herman says Eli with the programming degree. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily... I don't need a programming degree necessarily to know the facts about all of this, right? How do I turn my Pokemon bulk into profit? I don't know, Gabe. Did you watch the video? You're probably just stopping by the stream. How do you turn your Pokemon bulk into profit? The answer is quite simple. TCG player account, hit level 4 seller, opt into their programs, watch the video, and use the resources that I gave. And yeah, that's how you do it. That is the simplistic answer. And then there's a more in-depth issue. I just stopped by to say hi. I know, I was just giving you crap, Gabe. Thanks. Thanks for stopping by to say hi. I just don't collect, just hold on to gifts and memories and sell off the rest. Yep. Pretty simple. Pretty simple for... pretty similar for myself. Right? I mean, I've got cards I send in for grading. I'm like looking at some of the slabs that I have. The question is, what is a more profitable strategy? And this might be another video experiment. Buying cards at that are a 9, cracking them and sending them in for regrade, or buying the raw card and sending it in for grade. And this is talking specifically vintage, not ultra modern. Or opening the pack and trying to hit the card in a 10. Of those 3 options, which one is the most profitable? Bum, bum, bum. Who knows? Basically sell whenever it's relevant in the meta. F, right? F, yeah. That's what I do for freaking bulk, dude. Kraken Moonbreons? Yeah, right. No, this is for vintage. This is a vintage argument, right? Because, for example, I bought this a while ago. I think for 170 is how much I bought it for. It is a Absol Level X PSA 9, right? Bought it a while ago for like $175. If I take this card and I just look at it, I just look at this card face value and I say, huh. This card looks like it's definitely a 9. And for that reason, it stays in the case. But if I go through and I look at a card and I look at it and I'm like, dang, that card got a 9? I don't know. Is it worth cracking? I mean, we can look at this together just so that you guys don't see me just dicking off screen. Actually, I lied. I gotta log in. Every time. Every freaking time, Pokédad. Just keep me logged in, frickers. Like, let's go back and look at some of my favorite generation. And we'll just more or less use this exact example, right? We go to the Diamond and Pearl era. What is currently the value of a raw 9 Torterra level X? According to what this is telling us, the most recent sale for this card in a 9 apparently sold for $102. Right? At what point do I say to myself, I go through and I just buy all these Torterras, look at the best ones that I like, and I just crack them and sit them in for grading, and then the ones that I don't like, I just hold on to them as a long-term investment, because obviously if we're looking at just the grading value right now for 9s, they're obviously taking a huge dive, but they were at one point selling for triple of what they're selling for now. Like, there is a honest to God real argument to be had that these cards could still perform extremely well long term. Or you can just resell it, right? And take the L, but then send in the ones that are worth sending in for grading. Same concept can be said for the Infernape or the Empoleon. But for me, Torterra is my favorite Pokemon, so that's why I use Torterra as the example. And then we can go out and look at a different set, right? We could use, I don't know, Great Encounters, which was a set that was known for having easy to grade cards. I mean, these are selling in 9s for 121, 112, but in 10s they're selling for several thousand. I mean, they're obviously, you know, it's not like it's a freaking cakewalk in the park to get a 10 with this. But if you're going off of the fact that there's a standard deviation when it comes to sending these in, I just ask myself, how big is that standard deviation in sending them in and thinking that the grader is wrong? And how many of those people are like, I thought this was going to be a 10, it got a 9, I'm scared, I don't want to send this in and potentially end up paying even more money for it to get a 9 again, I'm just content. Perfect example of that, and Raheem can also attest to this, there was a Level X Leafeon that was pulled on stream with PokeRev from a Majestic Dawn booster pack. It was in pristine condition, it got sent in as a 9, and it should have gotten a 10. The individual who had that card sent in for grading, where it got a 9 instead of a 10, basically was too afraid to crack it open and send it in for grading to get a 10, because he just believed that he didn't want to take a chance. It would much rather sell it as a 9 versus a 10, even though the 10 itself would have gone for 10x more. 10x more, by far, not 5x, 10x more. It got a 10 from the seller who purchased the 9 from him, cracked it, and sent it in for resubmission. So yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting theory. But it can go the other way too, right? Some of these cards could have been 8s and and they got 9s. But those are the ones you don't crack. You can look. I can look at this card right now, and I can see, wow, there's whitening here, there's whitening here, there's whitening here. This is quite a bit of whitening. Okay, how's the centering? Centering's not bad, but I look at it and I say, just based on the whitening, I think it's pretty easy to kind of rule out this is not a card I would say is in a 10 condition. So I keep it sealed. Exactly, average player. Exactly the point that I'm making. Should I sell my Silver Tempest booster box promo deck sealed? Oh wait, should my Silver Tempest BB promo deck sealed or crack and sell the singles? I'm confused by that question, Alex. I apologize. Can you check the market price for a PSA Flygon 10 reverse hollow from Holon Phantoms? Yeah, of course. Flygon. Selling for $202. And it's in a pop 17. Honestly, that feels pretty undervalued. I'm not going to lie. If that is accurate, that does feel undervalued. But there's only pop 17, so wouldn't surprise me if this was a one-off sale that has since... I mean, it said it happened recently. It's crazy. The decks from the ST Build Val Stadiums, Curly, etc. I mean, I personally have been just mass selling them, but that's just me. You got it for $202 and a 10? Well, that's a steal if you got it in a 10. Wouldn't AGS count as AI? Nobody goes to them. Everyone goes to PSA or Beckett. But he was saying that it's not fully AI. It's technically considered AI grading, but it's not like full-on AI grading, and he just wants to differentiate that. How about work listening? Let's go, AJ. Or pay the graders a little something to turn my... Yeah, if only. This guy is using big words and deviations. I have 10 gold Dialga V-Stars from Crown Zenith. Most of them are grade worthy. Should I? Oh no, I actually want to check my bot out for that one. We're gonna use my bot for that. It is a V-Star. 10 to raw. The Dialga is... It's a V-Star, right? Yep. 119%. It's not terrible by any means. It's not bad. I mean, you're making at least double your money after grading, you know, not after fees. You could still make double your money after fees. I don't know what the price difference is, though. We'll have to go to Pokédata for that. So what? It goes to like 240-ish, right? Oh no, it goes to 116 from $43. So after grading and fees, you're making roughly around, I said 116%, or so you're what? Walking away with roughly... $95, and then you have your grading fee. I mean, that's a lot of effort in my opinion, and a lot of risk to try and make 20 to 30 bucks. You could. You could, but I don't know. I just get scared because I feel like there's not enough money in it that's making it worth it for me. Like you could walk away making 30 bucks as your upside. Or you can lose money. Like that's not a good value proposition, especially for a card like this, because if it hits a 9, you're effed. And you might say to yourself, oh, wow, it looks gorgeous. It's gonna 100% hit a 9. But we don't know that. Because the grader could be having an off day. His wife could have divorced him. His son could have said he doesn't love him. And he comes into work and he's just living his worst life. And he's like, man, life sucks right now. I'm going to give everyone a 9. Frick this guy, Pizmaster. I hate him. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, you never know. Human error is something that's scary. Dark the Undaunted is leaking the secrets. Right, CD Craft? Do you think Pokemon got Radiant EV Premium Collections worth investing? Yes, I actually like it. It was one of my favorite pickups for the longest time. On Rare Candy? Wait, AJ, did you get it graded or ungraded? Eli, can you give me a hand on the price of Rocket EX Snorlax Japanese? That is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. Do they even have that Japanese set? I gotta wonder. Dang, I have to scroll down so much just to find it. Oh wait, no, I'm dumb. It's not Magma versus Aqua, right? It was Team Rocket Returns, the English variation. Rocket Gang Strikes Back. There we go. Holy crap. Can you give me a hand on the price for it? Well, I mean, here's what eBay's saying. I mean, guys, just you can go to the website, Pokedata.io. Like, it takes 2 seconds. Can't tell you what it is graded, but here's what's going for raw, most recent sales. For a 9? Well, there is no info because they've never had a... I mean, literally, I can't select a grade. This card has not been sold other than raw. Hey, Eli, tell people if they're watching you on live, they have internet and can look up their own prices. I mean, if you're like, I can't find the grade, so then what you do is you go to Pokedata and you look and see what the most recent grade sale was. And if you can't find it on Pokedata, then it never happened. This card has not been sold according to Pokedata as a grade, and this could be wrong, but if you're cross-checking it on eBay to check if it's wrong, this card has not been sold graded before. There's no price history. Maybe, let me see if I can go all-time. Does that change it? No, all-time changes it for nothing. And to be fair, Pokedata is still relatively new when it comes to compiling data for this type of stuff, but this data is still, relatively speaking, you know, 3 years old? 2 years old is how long it's been running for, so at least in that past 2 to 3 years, there's sales history. Actually, my mistake is not Dialga. It's Arceus V-Star. Oh, where was my thing? Arceus. Where's Arceus? It's technically worse, according to the chart. From a percentage perspective. However, the dollar value for margins, it's slightly better, right? It's somewhat better. I would say that the value proposition is better, because if you're saying that you're basically making a 2x return after grading, it's about $140 is how much you're making, but then grading in fees or sending it in with fees, you add on another 20 bucks to that 120, you still walk away with like 50 bucks. Hey, 50 bucks is better than 30. I like that better than the Dialga by far. Average player, can you do my homework, please? You know? Yeah, and really, I selling it raw or 10 keeping. As long as he mad at the rest of the world, but not me. So that's why you slip him 100. A 1000% average player, which is why I hate the value proposition of it. Because if you say to yourself that you're making 30 bucks a slab, but every time you hit a 9 for a card, you lose 50% of the profit or 100% of the profit, and your ratio just gets diminished, that's where the value proposition comes into play. You have to look at your 9 to 10 ratio and your 10 to raw ratios as to what is going to be the most profitable, right? Because if I am saying to myself that if I send in a 10, I make $30. And if I send in a 9, I lose $30. That means I have to consistently hit more 10s than 9s just to make sure I don't lose money. And what becomes even worse about that is now you have to also try and sell and flip all these cards with that value proposition. And if you're saying that you're selling 20 cards that are worth 30 bucks versus one card that's worth 600 bucks in profit, that's a lot more work. Hey Eli, tell people that, yeah, I already answered that question. You're joking. Oh, I'm stroking out. Oh, you're joking me. Are you really saying this website is the standalone fact? There's multiple platforms to search out there. No, dude, average player's feeling a little spicy today. He's playing a little spicy. No, I'm not saying it's the standalone fact. I'm saying that if he hasn't found any sales most recently specifically for that card, and Pokédata, which regardless of whether you agree with the recent sale prices, which is a completely fair thing to say, the typical data compilation is extremely accurate in terms of at least having some semblance of record. If we go Team Rocket, Japanese Snorlax EX, PSA 9, right? So if we go look at this card, we have let's try and find what the sales are for this card. All right, so we see that the English versions are being sold. I can find a regular Japanese raw version. You're all good, man. Don't worry about it. Like I said, I'm just giving you crap. But it's just like you just aren't finding this. I mean, let's go to eBay, right? I mean, let me, but it's not even called Team Rocket Returns, right? It's so you've got one selling for $700. And if we go sold item sales history, is there a sales history for? Oh. This is why I said, I'm going to say this really close to the mic. This is why I said, if you don't find it on Pokédata.io, make sure you cross-reference by looking on eBay. Presumably, that's usually what you should always do. I was under the assumption that you had checked eBay already. We obviously decided to check eBay just for, making sure that the research was being done. The research was not being done because we've got multiple different sales for this card in Japanese. Deep breaths. All right. So yeah, like I said, if it doesn't show up on Pokédata, check eBay. That's usually my go-to. Check eBay. Okay. I saw a sold a few months ago on eBay, which is why I find it weird it wasn't on here. That's why I'm confused. I have before, but prices all over the place. But not really. They're not all over the place though, because you've got 2 recent sales on a card with very little sales history because it's in a pop. I mean, what was the population report on this card? Here, let me look up the exact name of the card. This is the this is the exact name of the card, right? If we go to pop report on this card, this card number is 62. The population on this card in a 9 is 28. So there's 28 of this card in existence. That usually means there's not a lot of sales for this card, right? We can see that, sure, someone has it listed for $700, but the most recent sales have been going for around the $250 to $300-ish range. So to answer your question, what the market is, based on the low pop, based on the low sales, based on the most recent sales, and based off of what's actively being shown on the market, it's around $250 to $300 is what the argument would be. I am not seeing the sold to $700. I'm only seeing the listed for $700, which if you have the history, then I would be more than happy to look at it. But yeah, I mean, so like for example, I did an exact search of sold 338 is what we're seeing. Then if we go farther than that, there's the 10 selling. Here's the 10 selling again for much less. There's 8 selling. Yeah, I mean that kind of answers it. That's what I would say. I'm lucky enough to make another one of your live streams. Let's go, Josh. Well, Josh. I'm glad you're here, but we're about to start wrapping up. We've got 5 minutes left before we end the stream. iFomo says undervalued, right? I don't know. It's a great question. Undervalued? It's hard to say, man, because I'm not an expert when it comes to Japanese EX cards. It's really tough. I take a look at it and I compare it to English, and it's just such a different market. It's hard to say. Yeah, no problem. Of course, Mason. I got you, dude. But yeah, my parameters for looking at a card is very simple. I go to TCG Player, I go to Pokédata. I look at the prices. If the prices seem off, I go to eBay just to cross-reference. And then from eBay, I go to the most accurate search and I copy and paste that on the name into the bar, and then I look at most recently sold and active, and then that's usually my determining point between those 4 or 5 factors. How do you feel about Gilbert? Because I love it here, just don't always love the heat. Did you recently move to Gilbert, or do you live in Gilbert? I enjoy it quite a bit. Gilbert is awesome. I think it's great. My only complaint I would say about Gilbert is just that my skin is very dry since moving here because the altitude difference and the difference in heat of it being a desert. My skin is very dry. And now average player is explaining basic concept of supply and demand economics to people for me. Yeah, it's about accurate. But yeah, it's nice. I enjoy it. But yeah, Japanese market, man. Like I said, it's an equation of what is it about that card that's gonna make people want it. But all right, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, witching hour, wrapping it up here. I think I'm honestly just gonna call it. We're ending 2 minutes early today. I apologize. I know everyone's probably mad at me. Sorry. But no, I want to thank you guys all so much for stopping by. As always, we do weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to be there for the live stream that we're going to have tomorrow for the Platinum Break. Super excited about that. It's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But as far as it goes, that is all for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will